Rodri's unseen role at Man City amid different feeling. Rodri has travelled with the Manchester City squad to Villarreal. Despite being unable to play, Rodri is helping Manchester City to feel they can do great things this season, with or without him on the pitch. The Spaniard has missed out on a match against Villarreal, the club where he made his professional debut, as a result of the injury he picked up at Brentford earlier this month. He sat out the win over Everton at the weekend, but was seen coaching the players in the tunnel before the second half and has travelled to Spain with the squad despite being sidelined. Nico Gonzalez is growing into a midfield role after his £49 million January move from Porto, and was as happy to take on Rodri's instructions as he has been to listen to Pep Guardiola's animated chats with him after games. He gave me some advice about what he saw because he knows a lot. I try to listen and learn a lot, said Gonzalez. He's one of the captains, and that's a really important role. He tries, especially to the young players, to advise us and make us understand the way we want to play. Guardiola would like Rodri on the training pitches more often to play alongside Gonzalez so they can work together, but is happy with how the 23-year-old is getting better and better as he learns at the Etihad. The same can be said for the team. As champions Liverpool falter, it is now 8 games unbeaten for the Blues in all competitions, and they land in Villarreal, sitting second in the Premier League table after their 2-0 win over Everton. City's coach thinks they are improving, and Gonzalez feels a big difference from when he came to the club, and they were in crisis mode, simply looking to survive in games. Since I arrived, I think we've improved a lot. I think this year you can see, in the last month and a half, there's a different feeling that everything is going really well, he said. I think at the end of last season, we did really good, but now I feel we can do great things. Victory in Villarreal would not only extend the unbeaten streak, but also end a rotten run of 5 away Champions League games without a victory. City wilted last season in Europe and are determined to show that they can be a contender again, having gone all the way 2 years ago. Gonzalez could have a big say in how far City go, especially if Rodri continues to suffer injury issues. The Ballon d'Or winner will make sure that he contributes though, regardless of how often he is on the pitch, and the Blues will take every bit of help they can in their bid to get back to where they want to be. Manchester City 24-man training squad for Villarreal game revealed as 2 stars absent. Manchester City have trained at the City Football Academy ahead of Tuesday's Champions League trip to Villarreal. Abdulkadir Kusanov and Rodri both missed training on Monday as Manchester City prepared to face Villarreal in the Champions League. The Blues trained at the City Football Academy ahead of their afternoon flight to Spain, and defender Kusanov and midfielder Rodri were the only absentees from the first team squad. Kusanov hasn't featured since limping out of the draw at Arsenal with an ankle injury, while Rodri injured a hamstring in the win at Brentford at the start of October. Pep Guardiola has said the Ballon d'Or winner is likely to miss the games against Villarreal and Aston Villa this week, while Kusanov won't return in time for the Champions League fixture. Ryan Ait-Nouri did train again, having returned to training at the end of last week, but not been fit enough to make the bench against Everton at the weekend. Calvin Phillips also trained as part of the 24-man group, but he is ineligible for the game, having not been named in City's Champions League squad. There were no academy graduates involved in the session. Mateo Kovacic made his first appearance of the season on Saturday, coming off the bench for the final 4 minutes, while Ryan Cherki was also back in action for the first time since August. He replaced Savinho for the final few minutes. City head to Spain on an unbeaten run that now stretches to 8 games in all competitions, and they have 4 points from their opening 2 Champions League fixtures, having drawn 2-2 at Monaco last time out. That adds a little bit of pressure to this game against a side who sit 3rd in La Liga after a promising start to the campaign. Gianluigi Donnarumma told he has obvious Erling Haaland trait at Manchester City. Manchester City goalkeeper Gianluigi Donnarumma picked up another clean sheet in the 2-0 win over Everton. Pep Guardiola has the best striker in the game up front for Manchester City, and he also cannot deny the impact of the world-class goalkeeper at the back. City's coach is adamant that he will not lower the reputation of Ederson, his goalkeeper for 8 years, who changed the Premier League with his feet and saved his best shot stopping for the run to Champions League glory in 2023. Guardiola is also cautious not to further deflate James Trafford, who arrived in the summer expecting to become number 1 and now finds himself stuck on the bench. Such has been the start of Gianluigi Donnarumma, though that any doubts about how the Italian keeper would adapt to his new team have been erased. City conceded 4 goals in the 3 league games before Donnarumma joined, and 2 in the 5 games since. It has been a collective effort, yet the former PSG keeper has made his presence known throughout. His save on debut against Manchester United was voted as the best in the Premier League for September, and he has been important in every match, from his efforts to keep Arsenal out at set pieces to stopping Brentford's Igor Thiago as he raced through on goal. Donnarumma has visibly lifted his teammates as well. He called for his saves to be celebrated by them as much as they celebrate the goals scored at the other end, and Ruben Dias and Nico O'Reilly were among those in the 2-0 win over Everton to go out of their way to congratulate him during the game. It is unfortunate for Trafford, yet Donnarumma has helped bring a calmness and a stability to City that has built confidence and momentum at the Etihad as they have glided up the Premier League table to put their name back into the conversation of contenders. As much as Guardiola does not want to go overboard, the mentality for Donnarumma that he described after the win over Everton is similar to the elite mindset of Haaland that allows him to score so many goals. When you win a lot of leagues in France and the Champions League and the European Cup with Italy, of course he gives us something, he said. He's a guy who, you have the feeling when he makes a mistake it's done in 2 seconds. His personality is obvious for everyone. We are fit, our training sessions, and our many things we have, it's much better. We are what we were not in last season but the previous seasons. Of course, every new player has something new. The vibe is different because they haven't been here for 6, 7, 8, 9 years and know me and know everything. The new ones are fresh and open. All the players who came from this market gave us that. The next test for Donnarumma will be the Champions League, the competition that he won with PSG last year with a string of excellent performances. The 2 goals the 26-year-old conceded with City and Monaco are as many as he has conceded in 5 league games, so more sharpness is required as they head to Villarreal on Tuesday. If City can pick up 3 points in Spain to move them to 7 from their first 3 games, they can really think about leaving their demons from last season behind them. The 2 giants bookending the team have already carried them a long way in a short time. Pep Guardiola has confirmed 3 Manchester City starters versus Villarreal. The latest Manchester City news ahead of their Champions League tie with Villarreal, after Erling Haaland scored twice versus Everton. Pep Guardiola sprung a selection surprise with his Manchester City team for Saturday's Premier League game with Everton. Nathan Ake was drafted into the defence ahead of Josko Gvardiol and John Stones for a first top-flight start since February. The 31-year-old had been linked with an exit during the summer, with Everton among the clubs credited with an interest. He featured for the Netherlands during the international break, but Ronald Koeman made it clear that regular football will be required to secure a spot in the squad for the World Cup. Ake's appearance against Everton seems to confirm that Gvardiol will start in Tuesday's Champions League clash away at Villarreal. You can ink Stones in the 11th as well, probably at right back, given Abdulkadir Kusanov is sidelined, Matheus Nunes started against Everton, and Rico Lewis has fallen down the pecking order. Stones played at right back in the 2-2 European draw with Monaco earlier this month. Bernardo Silva also seems certain to come back into the team in midweek, having been left out at the weekend. The skipper also started in Monaco and offers more control in the midfield along with a wealth of big game experience. City have taken 4 points from their opening 2 Champions League games, while Villarreal have a draw and a defeat to their name so far. The Blues beat Everton 2-0 in the top flight on Saturday, and Guardiola was pleased to see the strength in depth his side possess. The impact of the guys from the bench, Bernardo, Oscar Bob and Rayan Cherki, that has special talent, said Guardiola after the victory over Everton Rico and Kova too. We have another victory, and it's good to restart after 10 days. In the first 20 minutes, this always happens after international break. We are not completely in the dynamic that we have. With a win against Brentford, we had a good result, but then we struggled to come back. In general, it was a good game, especially in the second half, and this weekend we will sleep in the Champions League positions. That's good. Manchester City player ratings versus Everton with 3 8 out of 10s, as Matheus Nunes good Manchester City player ratings for their 2-0 win over Everton in the Premier League that moves them up the table. Manchester City continued their excellent form with a 2-0 win over Everton in the Premier League. Erling Haaland scored twice in the second half to put a stodgy start behind them. City were 7 unbeaten before the international break, but Everton caused them a few problems in the first half, especially when Nathan Ake needlessly gave the ball away in his own half. However, City had the lion's share of possession, and their control was turned into a lead when Nico O'Reilly crossed for Haaland just before the hour mark. A few minutes later, Savinho teed up Haaland for a second, and City never looked like conceding after that. Manchester City lineup versus Everton predicted as Matheus Nunes starts, and injury calls made Manchester City latest as the Blues prepare to welcome Everton to the Etihad Stadium in the Premier League. Manchester City return to Premier League action this weekend with Everton the visitors. The Blues pieced together a 7-game unbeaten run in all competitions between the September and October international breaks, and will hope for a similar run of form over the next few weeks. Those results helped Guardiola's side climb to 5th in the Premier League, just 3 points behind leaders Arsenal, while they are into the Carabao Cup 4th round and have 4 points from 6 in the Champions League. The visit of an improving Everton, who drew 0-0 at the Etihad last season, will present a stern test, but is the type of fixture City must claim 3 points in if they are to challenge for the title. Pep Guardiola will be without the injured Rodri, with the Spaniard not yet fit enough to return, having come off against Brentford